Number 4 Privet Drive. Tension fills the air. The Dursley family is in the middle of a loud argument. Vernon Dursley bellows at his nephew Harry Potter, furious because Harry's pet owl, Hedwig, is making too much noise. Meanwhile, Dudley Dursley, Vernon's spoiled and overweight son, whines for more bacon. When Dudley demands the frying pan, Harry calmly mutters, "You've forgotten the magic word." That single phrase sends the entire household into uproar. Harry Potter is a wizard. He's spending the summer with the Dursleys after completing his first year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Upon his return, Uncle Vernon confiscated all of Harry's magical belongings, his books, broomstick, wand, and cauldron, and locked them away in the cupboard. The Dursleys are muggles, non-magical people, who took Harry in after the death of his parents at the hands of the Dark Wizard, Lord Voldemort. Harry miraculously survived Voldemort's curse, earning a lightning bolt-shaped scar on his forehead and fame in the wizarding world. Today is Harry's 12th birthday, but the Dursleys completely ignore it. They are too focused on an important dinner party that evening, where Vernon hopes to make a deal with a wealthy builder. During breakfast, Vernon instructs his wife Petunia and son Dudley to rehearse their lines for the dinner. He tells Harry to stay upstairs in his room and pretend not to exist. After breakfast, Harry steps outside, disheartened by the fact that he hasn't received any letters from his best friends, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. Suddenly, he notices a pair of enormous eyes peeking at him from within a hedge. Before he can investigate, Dudley waddles over to taunt Harry for having no friends who remember his birthday. Harry, ignoring him, stares at the hedge. When Dudley demands an explanation, Harry jokes that he was thinking about setting the bush on fire. Dudley panics and screams for his mother. Aunt Petunia punishes Harry by making him do house chores. When he's finished, she gives him a slice of bread for dinner and sends him upstairs. As Harry opens his bedroom door to lie down, he's startled to find a strange creature sitting on his bed. It has bulging green eyes, bat-like ears, and wears a tattered pillowcase. It's the same creature that was watching Harry earlier. The creature introduces himself as Dobby, a house elf. Harry invites him to sit back down. Overwhelmed by Harry's kindness, Dobby bursts into loud sobs. The sound causes the voices from the dinner party downstairs to momentarily stop. When Harry notes that Dobby must not have met many kind wizards, Dobby begins banging his head against the window in punishment for speaking ill of his masters. He explains that house elves must serve their wizarding families until death. Dobby praises Harry for being brave, kind, and humble. Harry modestly denies it. When Dobby mentions Lord Voldemort, calling him, "he who must not be named," he warns Harry that great danger awaits him at Hogwarts. Though Harry tries to get more details, Dobby will only nod or shake his head. Then, he bangs his head again, creating more noise. Uncle Vernon storms up to reprimand Harry. Dobby hides in the closet. Once Vernon leaves, Harry resumes the conversation. He's shocked to learn that Dobby has been intercepting all his mail from Ron and Hermione to make Harry feel isolated and unwilling to return to school. Dobby believes it's the only way to keep him safe. Harry insists he must go back. In desperation, Dobby enchants a violet pudding and causes it to levitate, then crash onto the floor, ruining the Dursleys' dinner party. The guests are horrified. An owl swoops in and drops a letter from the Ministry of Magic on one of the guests' heads, warning Harry that he's not allowed to use magic outside school. The deal Vernon hoped for collapses. Now realizing Harry can't use magic at home, the Dursleys lock him in his room, fit bars over his window, and start feeding him through a cat flap. Days pass. Harry dreams of cages and being taunted. One night, he hears the bars of his window rattling and awakens to see Ron Weasley at the window, in a flying car driven by his twin brothers, Fred and George. The Weasleys came to rescue Harry after not hearing from him all summer. Working together, they remove the bars from the window and unlock Harry's door. Fred and George retrieve his school trunk, and they make their escape. But Hedwig screeches, waking Uncle Vernon. A tug-of-war begins, with the Weasleys pulling Harry into the car while Vernon grabs his legs. The boys win and fly off into the night sky. As they soar, Harry explains about Dobby. Fred and George tell him house elves usually serve old wizarding families, leading Harry to suspect Dobby belongs to Draco Malfoy's household. They reveal that Draco's father, Lucius Malfoy, was once a follower of Voldemort. They also speak of their father's job in the misuse of Muggle artifacts department at the Ministry, and how he charmed the car they're flying. At dawn, they arrive at the Burrow, the Weasley home, a crooked but cozy magical house. Mrs. Weasley, furious but relieved, scolds her sons and assigns them chores. Harry joins them in denoming the garden. They yank potato-shaped creatures out of the bushes and hurl them far away. Harry tries to be gentle, but one bites him, so he throws it like the others. Mr. Weasley returns from work and is excited about the flying car story, even as his wife scolds him. Ron shows Harry his room, where they pass Ginny, Ron's younger sister, who blushes and bolts, clearly having a crush on Harry. Ron's room is cluttered with Quidditch posters. Though Ron apologizes for its shabbiness, Harry finds it amazing. Harry has a great time at the Burrow. Every item in the house is enchanted. Mr. Weasley constantly asks Harry about muggles. One morning, school supply lists arrive via Owl. Ginny continues acting clumsy around Harry. Percy, the oldest brother still at home, is bossy and uptight. One afternoon, the boys practice Quidditch in a hidden field. Ron mentions the family's financial troubles, and Harry feels guilty knowing he has plenty of gold saved in Gringotts. When it's time to buy school supplies, they use Floo powder. Each person throws the powder into the fire, steps into the flames, and says their destination. But Harry mispronounces Diagon Alley and ends up in a dark, creepy shop full of skulls and cursed objects. He hides in a cabinet and overhears a conversation between Lucius Malfoy and the shopkeeper. Lucius wants to secretly sell suspicious items before the Ministry can search his house. Draco whines about Harry, and Lucius scolds him, warning not to seem jealous of a wizard as famous as Harry. Once they leave, Harry exits the shop and sees a sign, he's in Nocturne Alley. Hagrid appears, rescues him, and takes him back to Diagon Alley. There, the Weasleys and Hermione are relieved to find Harry. Mrs. Weasley fusses over him, and Mr. Weasley enthusiastically questions Hermione's Muggle parents. They all head to Gringotts. In the bank, Mrs. Weasley scrapes the last coins from their vault while Harry discreetly collects money from his own. They shop for supplies and head to Flourish and Blotts. Gilderoy Lockhart, a famous author, is there for a book signing. He pulls Harry in for a photo and announces that he'll be Hogwarts' new defense against the dark arts teacher. Soon after, the Malfoys arrive. Lucius insults the Weasleys for being poor and mocks Hermione for being Muggle-born. He and Mr. Weasley get into a scuffle, stopped by the shopkeeper. Back at the Burrow, the summer ends joyfully. On the day of departure, the family hurries to King's Cross. They reach platform 9 3/4 by walking through a magical barrier. Everyone gets through, but when Harry and Ron try, the wall seals shut. Stranded, they decide to follow the Hogwarts Express using the flying car. The journey is thrilling at first, but the car begins to malfunction. It crash lands into a massive tree, the Whomping Willow. The tree violently fights back. The boys grab their luggage and run toward the castle, where they glimpse the start of term feast through the windows. As they sneak inside, Professor Snape catches them. He gleefully confronts them with a newspaper report about Muggles spotting the flying car. Furious, Snape threatens expulsion. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall arrive. They assign detentions but allow the boys to stay. Snape is clearly disappointed. The boys are given food and then head to Gryffindor Tower, where they are cheered by fellow students. The next morning, Hermione scolds them, but most students are impressed. During breakfast, a mail delivery arrives. Errol, the Weasley's tired owl, brings a red, smoking howler. Ron opens it, and Mrs. Weasley's furious voice screams at him for taking the car. Hermione forgives them, and the trio heads to Herbology. Outside the greenhouses, Lockhart boasts about healing the Whomping Willow. He pulls Harry aside and says Harry only flew the car to recapture the fame he got at the bookshop. Harry is stunned and joins the class. They work with mandrakes, magical plants that look like babies and have fatal screams. Wearing earmuffs, the students repot them. Later, in Transfiguration class, Ron's broken wand misfires, filling the room with smoke. On the way to defense against the dark arts, Harry is stopped by Colin Creevey, a first-year obsessed with him. Colin begs for a signed photo. Draco Malfoy mocks them. Lockhart arrives and suggests he and Harry pose together. Lockhart then begins class with a quiz about himself, and later releases Cornish pixies, which cause chaos. Harry, Ron, and Hermione are left to clean up. Time passes. Harry avoids Lockhart and Colin. Ron's wand keeps misbehaving. One morning, Oliver Wood wakes Harry early for Quidditch practice. On his way out, Harry explains the game to Colin. As practice begins, the Slytherin team shows up with new broomsticks and Draco as their seeker. They argue over the field. Draco insults Hermione, calling her a Mudblood. Ron tries to hex him, but his wand backfires, making him vomit slugs. They visit Hagrid, who comforts Ron and explains that Mudblood is a slur for Muggle-borns. Hagrid jokes about wanting Harry's autograph, and shows off his giant pumpkins. Though Hagrid isn't allowed to use magic, he clearly does. Later, Harry and Ron serve the detentions. Ron polishes trophies with Filch. Harry helps Lockhart answer fan mail. During detention, Harry hears a chilling voice whispering, "Let me rip you, let me tear you." Lockhart hears nothing. The eerie voice haunts Harry. October brings rain. One night, Harry sees nearly headless Nick, who laments being excluded from the headless hunt. Filch catches Harry for dirtying the floor. In Filch's office, Harry glimpses a quickspell letter, magical lessons for underpowered wizards. Embarrassed, Filch lets Harry go. Nick admits he asked Peeves to cause a distraction. Grateful, Harry agrees to attend Nick's 500th Deathday party. On Halloween, the trio attends the spooky ghost party. Ghosts float through rotting food. They run into Moaning Myrtle, a weepy bathroom ghost, and Peeves calls her over. Upset by Peeves' teasing, Myrtle flees. They leave the party. Suddenly, Harry hears the chilling voice again. They follow it and discover a corridor with a message scrawled on the wall: "The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware." Nearby, Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris, hangs petrified from a torch bracket. Draco gleefully shouts, "You'll be next, Mudbloods." Filch blames Harry. Professors rush in. Dumbledore examines the cat and explains it is petrified, not dead. Snape suggests punishment, but Dumbledore and McGonagall disagree. Back in the dormitory, Ron explains that Filch is a squib, a non-magical person born to wizard parents. The next day, Filch guards the crime scene. Justin Finch Fletchley avoids Harry, fearing he's the culprit. Ginny Weasley seems terrified. In History of Magic class, Hermione persuades Professor Binns to explain the Chamber of Secrets legend. He describes how Salazar Slytherin built a secret chamber to purge Muggle-borns. Only his heir can open it. Worried, Harry remembers that the Sorting Hat once suggested he would do well in Slytherin. He wonders if he might be connected to Slytherin. The trio visits Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, thinking the water on the night of the attack might have come from there. They leave, only to be scolded by Percy Weasley for being in a suspicious location. That night, they suspect Draco Malfoy might be Slytherin's heir. Hermione suggests using Polyjuice Potion to disguise themselves as Slytherins. They get Lockhart's signature to access a restricted library book. The brewing begins. During a Quidditch match, a bludger targets Harry. Despite the danger, he catches the snitch and wins the game, but breaks his arm. Lockhart tries to mend it but removes Harry's bones instead. In the hospital wing, Dobby visits. He admits he blocked the train barrier and enchanted the bludger to stop Harry from returning to Hogwarts. He warns that the chamber has opened again. That night, Colin Creevey is brought in, petrified. Dumbledore confirms that the danger has returned. When Harry wakes up, he shares the news with Ron and Hermione. The school is in panic. Ginny Weasley is especially shaken. Neville Longbottom begins carrying protective charms. In potions class, Hermione steals ingredients for the Polyjuice Potion while Harry distracts Snape with a firecracker. Soon, a dueling club is formed. Lockhart runs it, Snape is his opponent. During demonstrations, Malfoy conjures a snake. When it threatens Justin, Harry speaks Parseltongue to stop it. The others are horrified. Parseltongue is a rare trait linked to Salazar Slytherin. Now the school whispers that Harry might be the heir of Slytherin. He tries to explain to Justin, but overhears Hufflepuffs saying Harry must be dangerous. Later, Harry finds Justin and nearly headless Nick, both petrified. Peeves alerts everyone. Teachers gather, and McGonagall escorts Harry to Dumbledore's office.